Hi everyone, hope you're all well and healthy. I thought I'd do a review following my successful day yesterday at the Falconers Quest at Warwick Castle, and this video is regarding this PANASONIC LUMIX G9 mirrorless camera. Why I bought this camera, where I got it from, how much it cost. I've got this wrote down so I don't repeat myself or linger the video on, so I'll try and make it straight to the point and as fast as possible. The lens, the cage around the camera to try and protect it, but also allow me to put a lot of accessories on it. How good is bird acquisition and continuous autofocus tracking? Was it any good yesterday at my eventful bird show, trying to photograph birds in flight, big eagles and peregrine falcons and bald eagles and all sorts? Well, we'll find out. If you live in the UK and want to spend a couple of glorious hours walking around some fantastic castle grounds and the river, this is a place to go. For me and the wife, and this is the second visit I've had, I may go again before Christmas. We're now in September. £10 parking, and it was £38 for the 2 tickets to get in, and the show lasts for about 35 minutes, but in those 35 minutes you'll get to test your skills of your your photography skills, your camera's auto-focusing skills, or video, whichever you decide to take, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed. But let's get on to the pictures that I took, and the ones what made it and the ones what didn't make it, and for what reason. So the camera's autofocus settings were as follows. I had the full area autofocus. Sometimes I use the center, but I had the full area and tracking, and it's set to animal eye, and that's the way I left it. And the first out the gate on the last show and this show was the barn owl. Now the barn owl, it flies low, possibly about 3.5–4 feet off the ground, and it swirls around the audience. So my objective is to try and take photos of it. I've got to get my composition right, so I had quite a few photos where it was in focus perfect, but the composition was very poor. Not include anybody in the background to try and make it look as natural as possible. So possibly took 12 pictures, but only had 3 really good ones what I consider the composition was right, the background was right, no people were included, everything fell into place. So I got about 3 good pictures out of 10, but that wasn't the camera, that was me, or on the occasional picture I'd have just the end of its wingtip, or most of its body, missing half a wing. But these things are flying around at a good rate. There's people, there's buildings in the background, and the way you're located, you're told that you have to stay seated, because some of the birds really do fly just above your head and miss your head by about 10 inches, and that's not an exaggeration. So some big ones are quite easy, because their wing flap, or the rate at which they flap the wings is not that quick compared to small birds, but and they're quite predictable in flight, whereas the other extreme, the peregrine falcon, that's the most difficult one to photograph. And last time I went to the show with my original G9 camera, I didn't get any pictures of the I got little dots in the distance of the peregrine falcon, but this time I was more fortunate. I believe I got 3 good pictures. But the barn owl, as far as I'm concerned, I got some successful pictures, but I don't set my camera to shoot like a machine gun and fire off loads of shots, you know, like 30 frames per second. It's set as slow as possible. I think the most I ever got out was 3 frames when I press the button three frames, because the way I figure it is, the style of photography I've done all my life for 43 years has mainly been people, cars, motorbikes, landscapes and architecture, things what don't move, and my mindset is still in that sort of area. So the way I figure it is, if you've got your camera set to 30 frames a second and you press the button and the first one's out of focus, the likely chances are the rest are going to be out of focus as well. So rather than sitting there editing photos for hours, I'd rather just have it slow. So if I press the button, it takes 2 photos. If they're out of focus or a bad composition, I've only sort of lost 2 photos, and it reduces my time in editing. I don't like editing. So to finalise, all pictures shown here were taken by me. The camera settings were aperture priority and the lens being full open, and my maximum was 1600 ISO. In fact, most pictures were taken at 1600 ISO, being my highest limit. All video footage was someone else's. So the question is, does the camera meet my expectations? Well, yes, compared to the original G9, this thing's light years ahead when it comes to bird detection. I will put some footage, it's not very good footage, at the end of this video of small birds in trees. Sadly, I filmed my flick out screen on the camera with my phone, and it didn't do a very good job of the colour because I had reflections and all sorts, but I think you'll get the idea, even though the quality is not that brilliant. And the bird was obscured by branches at times, so I think it did a quite good job. The original G9, I've got one still, is still a great camera, however not for birds in flight. The camera and lens were bought off eBay second hand, and the cage was bought brand new off eBay, came from China. But thanks for watching this video. I hope it gave a bit of entertainment to somebody. If you found it any good or you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. It helps my small channel. Until the next one, take care everyone. Bye for now.